然又到礼拜晚上实况的时候了，欢迎来到云之实况台，我是云之。今天我们要继续玩福尔摩斯第一章。好，再过2天就母亲节了，我先预祝一下大家母亲节快乐。虽然我们家已庆祝完了。好，对啊，我们要继续跑上市的进度。上市我们要去找那个叫总部，然后呢，因为他其实本来在这里啦，对，但因为记录的关系，我跑到这边来，所以我先跑回去。嘿，好，我们要进去调查一下了。右转，右转。我有右转这么多，我怎么直接跑回来了？我不是右转吗？转太多了是不是？难怪那个景色怪眼熟的。哦，这边有，哪天有来？看看。
So many goods here. Let's find something illegal. Porcelain friend for every child.
都没有人跟我说话。突然飞过来，牛逼！
That's our way in, Sherry. Shipped from Cape Town. The wine route from colony to colonies.
Cape Town. 哦。
This earthenware came a long way from the Staffordshire potteries.
哇，拿着枪。我跟你换武器好不好？你那把给我了。算了，我没有要杀人，还不是只拿我的小手枪在那边打他。应该没东西了吧？有还有一个在这里。
An essential remedy against sea scourge on any ship. Bernadotte doesn't miss an opportunity to occupy every niche in the market.
蓝色餐具、玩具、柠檬、酒。想办法让警官放我们进去。
Hey, this is private property. You lost something.
Good day, sir. I've been sent by City Hall to see Mr. Bernadotte about...
Mr. Bernadotte isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotte's best interest to...
1.
打他！
try to resolve this peacefully.
这样比较快。打他！哎，进来就直接战斗了，好吧？不要 coming for me， 走开！太近了！ 哎，没中。哇！
Too simple.
哦，怎么这么近？你们是什么时候跑出来的？离我太近了。我操！
Don't cry. The snuff's ready.
哎，人呢？没看到人啊？人呢？人呢？哦，人呢。瞎鸡巴乱射，他都不过来，在那个位置我根本打不到他。哎，没有任何东西可以吸引他、啊。你看他躲在那个位置，射哪里？哎，太近了，太近了，太近了，太近了！我太近了，太近了！哈，只要用这个了，可恶！实在太近了。
Too simple.
没有，不知道。哇，太近了吧！
Don't cry, you'll live.
哎，没中吗？屁的！哎，这样都打到，太扯了吧！
Give him the pepper snuff.
耶，成功！哇！娇娇，
Too simple. The snuff's ready.
哎，没有打到那个护甲的部分。
Oh, you killed him.
哎，屁啦！我是要拆他的那个，怎么变打死他了？我明明就是要拆他的那个，我可不可以重打？都打不到，枪法超烂。超会躲的啦。我的乖啊！打不到啊！难得他站在岩堆旁边的，我还打不到。 看，哇！打不到，完全打不到。Fuck you！ 没有血了。
Take a rest, my friend.
哎、这个打过了，这么巧。没有。去屁！我快死了！啊，死了！完了！躲不掉了。不用，打不到。
I'm coming for you. I couldn't miss the party.
Give him the pepper stuff. We can overcome the brute now.
其实
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
还是不小心杀了一个，可恶！
Don't cry, you'll live.
我在打他的盔甲，就变成把他打死了，可恶！看，他又多了一个，我不小心杀人了。机车哎、
You disappointed me so much, Sherlock.
看那个不算哦。
Jerry, look. This seems familiar.
是什么嘞？
Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa.
听到奇怪的声音。 不是那个声音很影响。嗯
A Dogon statue from West Africa. A century old at least.
这样就知道。
This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited.
是你的声音吗？
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. I won't harm you.
Like you didn't harm the folks on the way here.
靠！
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
像屁哦！就跟你说不小心的好。
Is this? Let's see what's hidden there. Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
哟，怎么还有人？
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll stretch you to pieces.
这有什么不一样吗？
Have you ever tried to pick up your teeth with broken fingers?
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear. I've got to. It's better I leave.
Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
各式各样的文物来自于非洲。是走私文物。女人被魔鬼拥抱的画作，这就是他被偷的那一幅画。莫丘里奥，莫丘里奥是那个死者吧？不是，是这个，对，莫丘里奥。没关系。我只想知道这里除了刚刚在，这个是路口吗？好像是。哎呦，所以我一开始就走对了，这么难得。这里有什么？编年史，齐柏林飞艇，什么意思？这不重要。
You acted so much like me.
哼，不可以啊！哟，开了。没事，就是这里了。你哪位啊？
This is it. This is where all the magic happens.
什么意思？
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor.
Coronado.
1875. It's taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph of the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
The Bernadotte Company Limited Trade Network reaches the most distant colonies of the great empire.
It must be very convenient for a man like Bernard.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family.
好啦，合法。
Spare me.
有没有抓你？没有东西。
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. Then come here, and we shall talk.
亲戚。我就不小心打死了一个人而已哦，每个人都怕得跟鬼一样，奇怪。
Sherry, don't you think this office suits me?
安安，
Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
观察，双下巴，哦不是，有吗？哦，手手，不回避肮脏长茧的手。 皮肤受损，得过糙皮病。哟，带枪的、哦，人血，只写了一个人血，什么意思？太过分了。戒指已婚，残酷的犯罪者，他是一个残忍的黑帮头目，8让双手在一起需要自己权利。 伯纳多蒂年轻时努力工作，但是慢慢对他周围的世界产生仇恨，只去搞麻烦。生长在一个贫苦的家庭，很小的时候就不得不下地干活，导致他逃避兵。虽然他克服疾病而皮肤，但后代真心情，他不愿把这些华丽的衣着之下，这样他永远不会记得自己身份过去。他的手下的相同风格，但样式不同的纹身，对纹身的代号，代表着一个够严密、行事隐秘的犯罪组织中不同阶级。后面我觉得差不多意思。商人无与伦比自信，能屈服的威严。随身配枪，在里面当然不得了，阳光下就差不多，但我觉得应该是下面这个。
Niccolo Bernadotti, I presume? The name is Sherlock Holmes, and I'm afraid I bring bad tidings.
Is that so?
The man you sent to the refugee camp failed in his task. He impaled himself on his own blade. Clumsy and chaotic, eh?
For a man who just broke onto my property, you are more businessman than brute. You have my attention, Mr. Holmes. Do not waste it.
Mr. Bernadotti, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident. One I am not responsible for.
For what reason
was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
我要解释了。
I was hired privately to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization and, thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotti.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you are hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why
Finally.
Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotti?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I'm rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true profession.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
Why did you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses, all too often, disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled
这
artifacts
时候
in your
问什么就
store.
都会回答了，这么好。
You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
Very convenient.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid. It's a pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So, in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
有道理耶。他就可以去敲诈英国特使作为回报，好像不错耶。收集不利特使，但敲诈他一笔。把现当前两个都不值得信任。真相是，如果把这件事情曝光，问题就能迎刃而解。他将会。 还有东西没有玩的是？还有一个这个。嗯？哦吼，所以我还是需要去一趟那个市政厅。
I need some time to consider your offer, Mr. Bernadotte.
If you insist, Mr. Hop.
The front door's now open, sir. You can leave through it. If you want, of course.
好。有秦门，西政厅在哪里？直接一路打进去，还不小心那个杀了一个人，可恶，亏爆了。议政厅。有人吗？
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
嗯，这是什么新案件？哎，不是，昨晚没睡，红眼睛。斧子没时间刮斧子。嗯？巴斯勋章，这是什么？黄色物质。旧巴巴的衣服，工作到很晚。手上的红酒汁没有办法活着，态度慵懒。领导就证实10分钟有什么对待他。这帮衣服和通我眼睛，因为他昨天没回家，这人宁愿堕落在酒精中迷失自己，不愿做正事。不刮胡子，失眠症或是经常，他似乎生活在一场噩梦中，一直摆脱过去可怕的事。从哪里看得出来派对啊？应该是跟派对无关吧。很懊悔。
Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
You blame yourself for what you did. It won't be any good unless you confess to me, so I'll try to be polite.
What sort of did are we talking about? Are you from the press?
I'm here because of Naylor.
Who?
You don't remember her name.
Lad, if you won't tell me why you came, I'll call for someone here to sort you out, if you get my meaning.
I came to talk. I have a solid piece of evidence that proves you guilty of the violation of a young girl.
What kind of evidence? The silly painting? That's ridiculous. Rumors. Don't listen to a word of it.
I wouldn't call it solid if it were just a painting. I have a photograph that would be enough to cause a scandal at the very least, not to mention criminal consequences.
A photograph? Oh, so you've plucked up courage to finally come here. I won't pay you a single coin until I see the photograph for myself.
I'm not interested in money. I came here to hear your version of what took place. I'm not in the habit of making rash decisions.
Not in the habit? Well, it didn't seem like that from the letter you wrote.
I've never written a single word to you. That's not my style. I'm more direct. But in exchange for my patience, I demand your full cooperation. I need you to tell me everything.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? It's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it.
Wow.
I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone.
Wow, Zana,
What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
他在呛我吧？他刚刚在呛我说我不小心杀了人，我有犯了错，是这样子吗？
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes, I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better.
基本的。
You will make amends and help the ones you hurt. Naylor deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
That's not all. Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people? Come on, it's not like we've got anything better to do.
特使的政治。 这个就是决定了。诶，那这个是什么？就没有任何。哦，你拉遭到还差点被绑架，我必须确保他和孩子安全。所有难民都是秩序的受害者，他们的处境必须获得改善。哦，是救一个人还是救全部人？哦，哦，哦，照片给画家啊，所以照片给画家就会变成是直接公诸于世，然后那个特使就会被关起来，然后他也是什么都拿不到。他就什么都拿不到，然后特使也会被关起来。那如果把照片给他，就可以替那个尼拉安排幸福生活。然后，可是如果你选这边的话，就变成是给大使，给大使就变成是可以救整个难民营。哇，怎么选啊？这有够难选的。就是两个都不救。我觉得给画家，目前对我来说，给画家是最没有意义的，因为你伸张了你所谓的正义，可是其实你什么人都没有帮到。但比较起来，你要帮整个难民营的人，还是帮助那一对母女？母子，我不知道是不是那个小孩是男的女的，对啊。我想想哦。以我的角度，我会选这一个。可是以福尔摩斯的角度，他应该会选这一个，就是超级英雄那种，能救一个就多救一个。可是， 我又有一种不想便宜这两个混蛋的感觉。怎么选啊？没有办法决定。这是一个不想让他转，虽然他可以救那一个女孩，可是就有点不想让他转。对，然后这个就是换取大家的合法身份，可是，对，就是变成让他爽啊。对，以福尔摩斯来说，无情的正义才是正义吧，就是无论怎么样都要坚持他的正义，不是吗？所以其实不会有这个选项。可是公开对那个女生也不好啊，其实。我会想选尼拉的原因是因为他基本上就是这整件事情中最大的受害者。那只是说能够帮助难民，就会变得是帮助到更多的人啊。算了，好吧，我还是这个吧。我还是得过去，对不对？这个也不一样。这个你选的其实没有差啊，他并没有因为这样子而改变了什么。这个选有选跟没选一样，因为最终决定权还是在你手上。 可以走正门了，哼，不用绕那么远。哎，
Please come in. Mr. Bernadotte is expecting you.
好啦，来啦，给你啦。
If I give you the photograph, how do I know you will not come after me?
Mr. Holmes, why not? The local authorities owe me favors. For all your confidence, you cannot actually harm me. Besides, I like you and your approach to business. We are not dissimilar. Pragmatists to a fault.
Indeed, I cannot ignore the just outcomes in what you have proposed. All right, take the photograph.
You are a hard man to read, Mr. Holmes. I couldn't tell if you actually had it. Fear not. This decision will bear its fruits soon enough. One more thing, Mr. Holmes. Now that I have the photo, you may as well take Mr. Mercurio's painting back to the gallery. Please, send my apologies.
哟，把画拿回来了，不知道会不会被抢？觉得会。
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
Yes, it's here.
Splendid! I'm most grateful, Mr. Holmes. It must have been a difficult task. Will you share your adventures with me?
I cannot, Mr. Vogel. The story is much like your undergallery. Not for everyone's eyes and ears.
So sometimes you do hide the truth. What has happened to your crusade?
I'm not on a crusade. I simply do not owe you the story.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen to keep secrets, I'll respect it. Besides, the truth is often more boring than the mystery. No?
It is what it is, Mr. Vogel.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I'm told it belonged to your mother.
我这边顺便讲一下，你看，所有人都认为他应该会把真相公开，因为福尔摩斯就是这样的人，但我还是选择没有了。
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
不是，看你就跟我讲说是一幅画，还是一个雕像石，还是什么都好啊，什么都不讲。
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear. I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained, specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
完成了，感谢哦，感谢哦。要回去喽。庄园大门口，大门口。 还没结束。哦，跳回来了，是不是？哦，这个大门口，哒，有新家具。算了，之后再说吧。大门口。大门哦，好大一个！你已经在看的是怎么回事 ？Open， 好，这傻小。
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
熟悉的点在哪里？又进动画啦！我突然变成恐怖片啦！
Did you just remember something? Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock.
Eh?
So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill. But she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
Consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
我刚才杀了好，
Grow, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Huh? 怎么看不懂？
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
然后呢？所以我要进去里面，是不是？第一个路，虽然我记这么多个啊，但其实我都没有回去那个，都没有想要回去的意思。不然那个给我放完之后，还要给我个哦哈，我放完了， 还给他了。这个门还没开。
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it. Another one. There must be something
一楼
important
的完
behind
全
it. I can feel it.
这故事还多长啊！一楼还有2个门没开，这个是第一个开的嘛，对不对？这是第2个。哦，我知道了。咦？咦？我没有看到这个东西。 这里，武器架啊，对啊，他刚是写很多东西的呢。
Home sweet home, Sherry.
木头，
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall.
女性
It
与
was a
我神
giant
秘。
aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible. It must have been something else.
哼，干燥骨骼延迟。
Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
老木
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
放大镜，
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of 2
Oh.
different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us.
工人
The workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes.
赝
She
品
always
收
said
藏
that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that.
奇珍异宝，解除锁定。
Ah, yes, my mother's
Kyla.
studio. She was an authenticator, and this was her cabinet of curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
熊头，
One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
太丑了吧！涂油漆这件事情太夸张了。舒适的毯
I
子，
remember this cozy blanket. It was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
呵呵，
It's a pity how many amazing things are missing from this room.
潜水装。
Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons. So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand.
亲爱的福尔摩斯先生，请接受我最诚挚的感谢。我要感谢您最近在我个人问题上对我的帮助。我总是会不断想起，如果不是你犀利的眼光和敏锐的头脑，都要发生什么让我们不寒而栗的事情呢？放心，如果我们再次相遇，你会看到一位感激你的朋友来迎接你的麦克杜格法官。谁啊？法官的信。
Officer Luciano J. Placido. Reliable and driven. I recognize Mycroft's handwriting. This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
这么嚣张？还有信。
Carefully opened. Dated 24th of April, 1869.
麦考夫，赫尔多·森林通知你，奥托·里希特医生杀害福姆斯夫人审判已交由法官审理了，你的非公开听证会申请不批准了。通知你，控方传你作为里希特医生一案的主要证人，你必须按照贝叶所列的日期到科尔多纳的刑事法庭出庭。这么神奇？错误。钥匙放在哪里？这是什么？哦，
This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake.
为什么要不如它是 fake？
1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire.
啊，
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's for the best. I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
An archaeological find should be here. It's far better than beneath the old city walls.
老城墙下面，
An archaeological find should be here. It's far better than beneath the old city walls. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man.
怎么看出来的？怎么知道这是 man？
And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets.
哦，是哦。这是什么？撕成两半。一本在古董柜中发现破碎的证书，有人故意把它撕碎了，把它重新拼起来，然后翻译过来。文凭上面写到，代表瑞士日内瓦大学的董事会，我们大学的校长特地证明，奥托·里希特先生通过了测试所需的法律法规考核，在此对他授予医学博士学位的相应权。 为什么是通过法律法规考核，授予的是医学博士学位？
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do that. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject. The Tulpa. Studies in Tibetan Mentalism.
Tulpa。奥托里希特个人笔记：父母太太是一位颇受关注的病人，也是探索我某些理论的理想实验物件。我将试图反复让他沉浸在导致他精神疾病创伤中，相信除了那一刻可以让他的大脑有机会产生新的化学反应，接受他并治疗自己。我对我的假设很有信心，我只需要证明它。另外，很幸运的是，我能更大程度上和福尔摩斯家族在一起。也许我还能有时间研究心理特征遗传，不论是正常还是紊乱的。很明显，这个家族所有成员拥有异乎寻常的高智商。看来对母亲的病情已经开始影响小孩子夏洛克的思想了。由于长子的保护，所以我无法适当的进行医学检查。但这男孩似乎不断产生幻觉，好像有个想象中的朋友瞧我。他在说你啊！我亲爱的兄弟，我听说你最近到了科尔多那里，是来看我的吗？真的很想念我们以前晚上彻夜长谈的时光，其实我们从来没有意见一致过。科罗纳是一个令人惊叹的新艺术画廊，举办帝国每周4都会去，咱们在那里见面吧。哦，对了，不要再找柯老师了，我已经不会再用这个名字了。奥托弟弟的信。哦，
The full plate armour of Sir Robert Swanford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
I'm starting to remember something.
意外。鹿头。
Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
So he tried to persuade everyone that his forest was inhabited by these beasts. It would have been thrilling if it were actually true.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace Dioram.
Oh, Mycroft. He always acts so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner claimed to be the heir of King Arthur. Scarcely believable. He also insisted a deadly rabbit was hunting him.
Deadly rabbit.
When you're finished here, can we build a wigwam from the blankets? Like in the good old days? It's a pity how many amazing things are missing from this room.
Hmm? 清晨脚步声。
The memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
去喽。男性制服。
He opened the door to the postman, and they exchanged documents. If it was a real postman, of course.
呵呵，有需要怀疑成这样？
The painting on the wall was slightly at tilt. He stopped and straightened it.
柴火，暴力。
Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it?
当然，
I think this is what we're looking for.
找到了。
I heard footsteps upstairs a second ago. Wait, do we have an attic here?
Nope. Open.
We made it.
Yeah.
So what's there?
这是什么？
Gifted by Queen Victoria herself.
哇哦！
Single malt whiskey. Mycroft's favorite.
半瓶优质的单一麦芽威士忌，麦考夫最喜欢的饮料。我们发现它和一堆重要文件一起被锁在古铜柜的抽屉里。值得注意的是，这款威士忌似乎是维多利亚女王本人送给他的礼物。哇哦，高级品。
Otto Richter.
这是医生的那个，
This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research.
哦，里希特现年15岁，出生于瑞士伯恩一个受人尊敬的家庭，未婚没有继承人。医生毕业于瑞士日内瓦大学，由于分班测试时的一个小丑案导致毕业推迟了1年。他父母在1863年死于霍乱，生下一个同父异母的兄弟，35岁克劳斯。克劳斯·里希特目前下落不明，最后出现在科尔多纳。
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met.
Mm. 物品。装满古董柜子。最后的架
I
子。
used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of
哦，
exactly
还是摆这
what.
里的。
And we didn't have a great view from behind the statue.
When you're finished here, can we build a wigwam from the blankets? Like in the good old days?
这里。
Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. It's coming to the surface. I feel it.
又要推移啦，哎、我可以继续调查。Go。傻笑。太夸张了吧！这样，
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
这应该是这个处。 Yep.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them.
不是很私密的谈话，奇怪的谈话，发生在那一天房间意外后不久。卧立房间的意外后不久，什么意思？下打算玩弄一下古董陈列柜里的文物，当然我也和他一起去了。结果我无意间误及了哥哥跟医生的争执。哥哥很生气，确信医生对他母亲做了某些可疑的治疗，造成适得其反，所以他叫他骗子。
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out.
等一下，又有客人，哪那么多客人？
Sherry, look. We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
又是他。我在绿松石像大街上的库尔特庄园等你，在修道院对面，务必要来。我给你送去一套在这样的场合需要恰当的服装，并不必要嘛，需要你穿的合身。
An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
又是新的案件了，西孙皮，又是 VV， 应该是这个吧？他只想新，好，等一下，那他有的换吗？ 好吧，只好去当冰淇淋了。
Mycroft's umbrella, the only outgoing thing in his wardrobe.
I think we deserve a rest.
算了吧。格兰萨雷北部。可多纳修道院对面。绿松石巷大街上。屁嘞，哪里有绿松石巷？该不会是这个吧？这里。对面，在这边咯。都没有非常近。它的那个北部很不北部这边吧。往后门这边。家。
Welcome to the Manchos mansion.
嗯？绿松石像是这里没有错啊。咦？对吧？哎，名字不一样啊。
Do you know anything about this?
I'm so sorry. I can't help you, sir.
看没有什么，暂时没有东西可以调查。
Welcome, sir. I do hope you enjoy yourself.
大家都装成这个奇怪的样子。
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
Oh, 谁啊？又是谁啊？高高在上。
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
我还要站在奇怪的地方。 搜寻一些资讯，揭露当地精英不耻行径的文章。哈。
Is this familiar to you?
Don't take it personally, sir. But I know nothing about this.
I'm so excited about the event.
You have such pretty hands. What can you do with them? Do you know what was here before Manchiosa's family bought it?
这座豪宅的诡异历史，都不是。魔法阵神秘建筑师，太奇怪了吧
Do you know what was here before?
太神秘了吧！在奥奇曼斯家族出现这些好人，属于一个研究神秘学的建筑师，毕生致力于用这个被遗忘的巨作进行一场强大的仪式，但普通的魔法阵对他来说根本不够用。这就是他建造这座豪宅的原因。敏锐的眼睛可能会注意到它的形状和某些魔法符号相对应，有些墙壁上还有一些特殊小洞。有一天，就是突然消失了。这座宅子之下的地板上的灰迹。也许他的努力成功了。
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry. One more piece, and I can expose these base hedonists. Curtains do not guarantee privacy.
And you still need a crack, despite being a thief.
I'm coming, Sherry. Just give me another second.
哦，造型很帅哦。诶，哇，我进剧情了。
Sherlock, friend, I wasn't sure you'd come.
哇，我会不会挑战没有成功
Berner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
So no need would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
Huh. You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. Time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course, something to smoke, or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual.
增强
to
剂
sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind already operates at a far higher level than most. I struggle to believe anything could improve it. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? We've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next? Visit the victims? Ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
I am perfectly capable of coping with myself without medical assistance.
Then I shall press you on it no further. But please, do not refuse my gift. Take it with you, as a souvenir of this special night.
Souvenir of what, exactly? But, all right, if only to put the matter to bed.
And now, our evening begins in earnest. I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room? What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
Fabio. Xiao. Hey.
May I ask for your assistance?
Excuse me? What? I'm not sure I know.
这个应该问不到吧？可是我觉得我没有另外一个。
My goodness, Sherlock. They made a blood fountain.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. Gahors at a guess.
I need a rest from my insatiable life.
May I ask for your assistance?
Excuse me? What? I'm not sure I know.
Well-known and recent plays to keep up to date with the current trends. Well-known and recent plays to keep
One
up
of
to
these
date with the
books
current
must
trends.
open a secret passage. I know it.
These medieval botany and chemistry books look even more satanic than the Codex Orchis. Why does this occult book sound like a flower? Romantic poetry and prose. Someone's in touch with their feelings.
没有跟丑闻有关的部分，有，是这里吧？
Manchos had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
原来在这，发掘身份披露丑闻。3个还不够。
Manchos had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
诶？诶？我漏掉什么？
Ranchers had to inform.
哦，丑闻，他们叙述了一条来自前镇长的丑闻：副总督考登被他的未婚妻一位普鲁士公爵夫人发现他和一群年轻男士有染。这桩婚姻是为了达成政治目的。虽然这桩婚姻是为了达成政治目的，但是公爵夫人感情却是政策受到伤害。这一事件引发了科尔多纳和普鲁士之间的政治危机。尽管抗议声寥寥无几，但州长还是解散了他的追随者。
I'll pin them down, Biscoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
耶，成功！哼，记者桥。好啦，我们要去开地点了，应该是这里了。Open， 哇，直接被捅穿。
My God. Was he here this whole time?
法比奥，没有事，我先走了。
The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. This oil, the ointment, smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly.
太厉害了，这样就知道是。好吧，直接来吧。刺青覆盖标
This
记，
crude tattoo
奴
partially
隶
covers a
火翼。
slave branding.
头部的伤，
A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage.
凶器，
This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
什么？他心脏在这里哦，真的假的？
This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here.
还有东西可以问。法比奥在一场神秘学的仪式中成为祭坛上的祭品。
The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry.
受害者的描述。还有一个更衣室。
The
血迹？哦，不是，哎，
An
是
open wound spoiled the carpet.
血架。
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion. Why don't people tidy up after themselves? Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not-so-sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
吸烟休息室才是第一犯罪现场吗？12滴
The
血，
wounded person was here for some time.
太厉害了吧！
A bloody handprint on an armchair. A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
What about a quick pillow fight?
现在不要吧，更衣室。
This is a different ritual.
仪式场景，我从开篇一句评论中发现了一段设定好的仪式场景，上面说熟悉并排练这个仪式。曼奇奥斯，一个裸体女人躺在圣坛的花坛上，象征了大地母亲盖亚。这个人引导圣油涂满在女人的身体上，以唤醒她体内的生育能力。与会者此刻应该吟诵经文，并召唤能取悦盖亚母亲的人。然后，这个将扮演生命准则的男人会进来与他发生性行为。哈，傻小。
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
库尔特便条，不要把客人拉一旁马蒂斯塔，让他们兴奋起来。他们不想听你的无聊故事，他们只想感受自身展现的魅力。恨你对他们的欣赏，你在这里为了取悦客人和庆祝新生命。记住，每个人都花大钱才能和你共同尽孝。
How can anyone accept such behaviour?
吃手印
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
太厉害了吧，这样都看得到。最近有人用过水罐里的水，下水道附近有没洗干净？就是那个洗脸槽。有的客人可能还从这里拿走一件长袍。
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
旧衣橱。
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Manchos.
Would you recognise me in one of these? I suppose not.
Hmm? Hmm? 钥匙哦，钥匙。F.
The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
演员的工作准备记录。三小。没有。这里还有一个。
Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
你来了。
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my man will behave itself going forward.
All right. Pull yourself together, Werner. Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
How did you discover the body? In between
sorry,
dozens of alcohol?
I was set to perform a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh. Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then, we were...
filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Perhaps.
Cut.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil... Not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a fool. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later, only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
来吧。哇，又是直接躺下。这不是。拉住也太蠢了。该不会是下一个？嗯？哇塞，这个太多了吧！这就变成是，那他到底是什么时候倒下去的？ 个如果都是凶手的话，
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloody robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
他明明就有躺下，看看我明明就有躺下，我哪有不动？是一场疑似谋杀，还不知道。
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all. The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry.
Oh. 好了，时间差不多了，先到这边吧。我们要用这个奇怪的装扮，在这边先结束了。然后就，这一半就是要，我想想啊，6日，不出门的可能性比较高啦。再看看吧，如果有机会就是你给我开，如果没有机会就算了。我自己找游戏玩，最近真的是太无聊了。昨天又下买了，好像三四个游戏吧，对吧？再找时间玩，就是那种，反正它已经很久了，我也没有想要实况的游戏。好了，那今天就先说到这边了，对，下次看状况了再说。好了，感谢您今晚收看，我们下次再见，晚安，拜拜。